Hi guys, this is an anecdote of my experience on Kick-Ass 2. If you YouTube the clip Chinese or Kick-Ass 2 Chinese gambling fight scene, you should see the clip that crops up. And it's basically the one where Jim Carrey's character, together with Kick-Ass and his crew, storm a Chinese gambling den, and they first meet up with this huge bouncer, who, in fact, his name was actually King Lao, and he was a great guy. He was a former wrestler back in the day, and then you lead into you get shown to a table where you've got the gangster boss and his thugs. I play one of the thugs, and in fact my hair's actually shaved in stripes horizontally, and I wasn't aware that was going to happen. It was only when I turned up on the first day, went to hair and makeup, and the head of hair and makeup asked if she could shave my head. Now, bear in mind, I anticipated I was going to be away filming for approximately a week. So I had to gauge work, coming back to Bristol, do my landlord work, heading back to Pinewood in Buckinghamshire to do the this fight scene, or be part of this fight scene. So I agreed eventually. And on the first day, after the haircut, I went back to the stunt sort of warehouse where all the rehearsals were going on, and one of the guys looked at me and basically asked, "What the fuck have you done?" And he started laughing, and the fight coordinator, who was Mike Lambert, he's actually he hails from England but speaks perfect Cantonese, and he actually for part of the time was speaking Cantonese to me, and so he gave me some good pointers. Anyway, first day at the fight scene, on set, Jim Carrey was there, Kick-Ass was there, and for the table, Jim Carrey had two prop pickaxe handles. Now, they're both made of differing types of rubber. The first one was a heavy duty rubber handle, so that when he hit the gambling table where all the chips and everything came flying out, it was heavier so that it didn't flex as much in the playbacks, and also it had to be heavy and strong enough so that the tabletop would flip up. So that was fine. It then switched, when it came to the fight scene, to the lighter pickaxe handle, so when it came to making contact with the action performers, it wouldn't necessarily hurt. It would have stung, but it wouldn't necessarily hurt. Now, with Jim Carrey, he went through the stunt coordinator, who was Jimmy O.D. He wanted to make some alterations to the fight scene. They were very subtle alterations, and on each occasion I said yes, it's fine, because my view was that if you're seen to not agree, they'll just replace you. It's as easy as that, really, and that's no different to any other job in the industry. If you're not happy with someone, you just replace them, or you just don't use them anymore. So I agreed to the subtle subsequent changes. And there came a time, I remember counting the number of changes that were made, where when the edits were played back, the lighter pickaxe handle that was used for the fight scenes was flexing in the playback, which was no good. And the director said use the heavy pickaxe handle. And I obviously was aware of this. I thought, yeah, okay. And then on the third time, Jim Carrey came over with a stunt coordinator, and they said, "Is it all right, Rob? We can just tweak the fight scene a bit." And what it was Jim Carrey's quite tall. I'm 5'8", and Jim Carrey is much taller. And whilst he may appear slim, he actually has got quite a powerful physique. Originally, he had the pickaxe handle under his armpit, like a sergeant major, and he was going to do a 180 about turn. So the pickaxe handle, the end of it, was going to skim my head, and it would give the impression that he was going to hit my head, and I would just react. But this time, he wanted to swing it above and then sort of swing it at my head, and I agreed. But that moment in time, I thought, I just wondered what was going to happen. So the director said action, and when it happened, he did that and basically clocked me full here. And in my lifetime, I've never been knocked out, and my action was to go into the wall and hold fire until out of shot, and hold fire until the rest of the fights were finished, with Kick-Ass, Insect Man, the other guys. But then I was actually wobbly on my feet, and I thought I was going to spark out. A few seconds later, the director says cut, and then Jim Carrey came rushing over with Jimmy O.D. and Jimmy looked at me. I was standing, and he looked at me and goes, "Are you all right?" And to be honest, my eyes were watering. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And it was the end, almost to the conclusion of the first day. It was a Monday, approaching early evening. And I said, "No, let's do it again. And Jim Carrey was very apologetic. So that was one of the injuries I sustained on set. The next day, I was aware that they were going to use the stunt double, Jim Carrey's stunt double, to finish off the fight scene. But Jim Carrey did come up to me and ask how I was, so that was nice. It was other than that, it was, if we take that on board, all things being considered, Kick-Ass 2 is the only project where I've had a lot of screen time, which I consider to be a lot of screen time. Fantastic atmosphere to work on for the stunt crew, who was headed by Jimmy O.D. Fight coordinator was Mike Lambert. And yeah, it was great. I think towards the latter part of the week, they called me back because they missed taking a shot of the fight scene from behind, and it was like the concluding part of the fight, and the guy who played Insect Man had two, in martial arts they're called tonfas, but obviously in Kick-Ass these are superheroes who are sort of your average Joes, and they made up weapons out of mock-up daily items. So he had two tonfas made out of maglites. However, though, on this occasion, the fighting maglite torches were actually with props, and the only ones we had on set at the time were real ones. And when they called action, Insect Man had to sort of twirl one of the maglites, and it flew out of his hand and literally hit the wall, sort of with a thud. And then afterwards, Jimmy goes, "Oh, perhaps we should get the prop." And that was it. So that was Kick-Ass 2. The actual fight scene is on my website, and that was the only time where my facial appearance was dramatically changed. I had a tattoo on my face as well. I stayed at the hotel in Pinewood, or the Pinewood Hotel, and I had a beanie on. And I went in. I said, "Look, I am working on a film. This isn't real," pointing to my tattoo. And they said, "Oh yeah, there's no problem." And I said, "But this is." Took the beanie off, and they just looked. Their jaw dropped. So that was it.